Welcome back to season 4 of Connecting with Purpose, where we're putting founders first, telling the stories of the humans behind the business. From magic moments to purpose, looking back on their entrepreneurial roller coaster to the possibilities ahead. We'll learn how these leaders have navigated their journeys up, around, and away from the performance precipice to achieve growth, results, and impact they're really proud of. Welcome back to season 4 of Connecting with Purpose, where today we're talking about going from belief to alignment and why that matters for team performance. Over the past month, I've been talking a lot about belief and identity, and these are the first 2 levels of what it takes for leaders and teams to get clear on who they are, what they stand for, and why their work matters. And this is the table stakes for high-performing teams, so we have to start there. But we want to build upon it. And so high-performing teams believe, they care, they're obviously super capable, and they want to do meaningful work and perform at a high level. And yet what happens, and for whatever reason, part of being human, I think, that something gets in the way and that progress just feels harder. We're having to work harder than we should to get the results that we want to get. And it's not usually lack of effort. In high-performing teams, it's usually because that belief alone isn't enough. We absolutely have to have alignment. So thinking about what alignment looks like. So I want to bridge from belief and identity to alignment and trust, so you can avoid your team getting stuck there. This bridge, we don't want to be stuck in the middle of the bridge in no man's land, not here, not there, not moving, right? We want to be continuing to build momentum, continuing to go forward. Belief's internal, right? And alignment's more relational, it's between people. So that the belief and identity are inside us, but the alignment and trust have to be between us. And this is important distinction, because if you think about what questions these represent, belief would answer, why are we here and where are we going, right? Really key, set the direction, we believe in it. Identity answers, and who are we becoming along the way? What are the behaviours, the mindsets, the capabilities we need to adopt to get there? Alignment answers, what are we actually going to do and how are we going to do it together? And that's the critical piece. Now then you can build alignment into trust, which is, can we rely on each other? Can I rely on you in a way that I can support you and you can support me? Can we rely on each other, especially when we're under pressure? And you can have the most committed, values-driven folks on a team that are still struggling to move together, because the shared belief alone is not the same as shared understanding. The alignment and trust create that shared understanding. And there's often so many material unlocks in team performance when focusing on the how of working. What are our ways of working, which is a big piece of my work, and where alignment and trust come into play. And so you've heard the phrase, oh yeah, everyone's on the same page. This is a phrase I hear a lot, and I like to test it, because if we are on the same page, let's ensure that everyone can answer the same question. So this is a little test, right? Ask some questions and have everybody in the room write down their answers, collect in the answers, and then read them out. And you have a very good idea who is on the same page and who isn't. Now, imagine if you asked everyone all of those questions about your strategy, the vision, your scoreboard, your pursuits, your priorities, your principles, your purpose, and what answers would you get? How clear and aligned would those be? So the simplest solution, and how I treat strategy work, as I did last week, is if you want to have everyone on the same page, then you co-create it on a page, right? If you do that, you increase the understanding, the alignment, and the ownership hugely. And that's what we did with the commercial team last week. A 1-page strategy, great people, one aligned goal, genuine intent, but the co-creating of all of the content within the framework together on 1 page embraced the different interpretations of everybody, and that they became shared and understood. Different assumptions that were aired and clarified, and different definitions that were debated and then distilled down. And it created a complete clarity of alignment around shared understanding And it's so important when you've got different perspectives in the room to air that and get everybody onto the same page. Because with that alignment is where we can then build the trust. And the trust is such a critical piece, because it's not just about, oh, we like each other loads and therefore we have more trust. And no, we didn't do any trust falls. Trust is about caring, it's about capabilities, it's about our character of following through and doing things that we say we're going to do, and it's about our consistency of the experience. And I was there last week with a 100+ year multi-generational family business where we did talk about the power of feeling like a family but competing like a team, because what wouldn't you do to support your family? So in that instance, that was an added catalyst to their trust. So alignment supports trust by providing clarity around the expectations, the ownership, the capabilities we need, the consistency of the follow through, and closing the loop together on the things that we said we would do. Because when we lack alignment, trust starts to fizzle away. And it's not usually because there's conflict, it's just because there's friction, we're second guessing, we're getting off track, we become inefficient, we're spinning our wheels too fast to try to get not far. So we compensate, we're leaking our energy, and ultimately our execution suffers. And again, it's not effort, it's because we're lacking coherence. So alignment and trust create that coherence. And so you've got to think of alignment itself as a capability, it's a muscle that we can continue to develop on the team. It's something we can continue to practice and improve upon. It's not a one and done. We didn't leave that in the room last week. Understanding and clarity are the key to beginning and the foundation upon which we have to build, but we have to continue working on them beyond that. They're not guaranteed. So this alignment muscle is built through us continuously sharing direction, milestones, progress, priorities, interdependencies, really being on the same page, oversharing this stuff almost. It's these conversations where we can surface and test our assumptions, and we can adapt as we go so that our intent is converted into coordinated, focused action. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in my next session. At the individual level, it's important as well, because alignment enables us as a team member to thrive, because it creates clarity around our areas, gives us some autonomy to lean into those things, to really align our capabilities to our strengths so we can uniquely impact the team. It helps clarify also our positions in terms of how we each focus on our areas, avoiding the grey space, leaning into the areas where each of us can complement each other and support each other more effectively. Just think of positions in a sports team and the importance of that. So kind of distilled all the way down from big picture down to individual, the next bridge from here, from alignment and trust, is to the boundaries and the execution, getting the stuff done. And that's what I'll talk about in a couple of weeks' time. But if belief and identity are the heart, the alignment and the trust, they're providing us this coherence and the confidence, they're like the catalyst, the performance catalyst. And that is also what enables our execution to be more sustainable. And that's what we want for continuing to build progress and momentum, and ultimately to carve out some form of advantage in the market. So my next one podcast, I will be bridging through to the importance of this execution, focus and boundaries piece, where when you're thinking about ultimate performance, that we can't just build our performance only on belief. We have to build it on a whole cohesive system that everybody is committed to. And in our next session, we will lean into that next piece as I continue to work with this team on coaching the mindsets and the behaviours they need on a weekly and monthly basis to put this strategy into practice. So I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks for the next solo episode, and also tune in next week for my next founder guest on season 4 of Connecting with Purpose. Cheers.